Hello, my name is Samuel Jones, and on today, the topic I chose was political education reform. Now, it's a little weird topic to go on, but it's important. It affects me and it affects you. So, before we get into the presentation today, I would like to ask you three questions. The first being, one, do you understand what the Electoral College is and how it affects you? Two, do you understand how legislation impacts your every single day life? And three, when you look at your political office, do you see someone who represents your interests or that of other people? If you answer yes or no to any of these, you shouldn't feel bad because the simple truth is that we are all in this trying to figure it out. And the best way to understand this life is to understand the politics that govern it. In America, with Hawaii in particular, we see lots of low voter turnout. In Hawaii, we have 38.6 voter turnout. That means more than 60% of eligible voters in Hawaii chose not to vote in the 2016 election. That is either due to a couple reasons. One, they just completely didn't hear about it. Or two, they didn't feel as if it was their role or that the laws really cared about their say. And I'm here to tell you that they do. Your laws are meant to help you. Your legislation is meant to guide you through life and to protect you. But the only way that that can happen is if people who actually understand what we are going through are in office. And the only way that will happen is through learning about legislation and political education. Unfortunately, though, in our school system, we are not taught these things. In fact, even when we are taught these things, the chances of us actually retaining it through the system that we currently have is extremely low. The lack of care towards political education is immense in America. In fact, according to the American Council of Trustees, I believe it is, I want to make sure I use the right name properly, 80% of the top 55 schools in America 80% of the top 55 schools would have received a D or an F if tested on only political affairs. Now, that number may seem a little high to you, but think about this. It can get even higher. As we know, there are parts of America, parts of Hawaii, parts of really anywhere of which communities are not given the same type of educational guidance as others. Now, if the top 55 schools will score a D or F, can you imagine the lack of information we have been given and why it is so crucial for us to learn it now before we get older? The youth guide the generation. The youth show the next path. And if we are not aware of political affairs, then we are destined to allow someone else to tell us and write our history and where we can and where we cannot go. Only by gaining the grasp on this structure that guides our lives and guides our government can we truly begin to speak and use our voices in a way that, when written down, means something. In schools today, we are not really taught about this type of thing, though. We are taught about a very standardized testing system that if we don't fall within it, then we must be uneducated. And that simply is not the case. We need to have more real life applications inside of our school. And through politics, we can push for certain things like that. We need to have systems in place that teach us how to file our taxes. We need systems in places that show us how to work with microeconomics. We need systems in place to teach you, hey, if going to college isn't for you and you still want to be able to get a job, here's how you make a resume. These type of things we are not taught, and we can push for those things through political education reform if people are aware of it. Now, schools that push and teach political education produce students who are more likely to participate in political education and in legislation as a whole. That truly means that if we are kept out of this pot full of knowledge and we do not seek it ourselves, then we are destined to let others write our stories for us. On today, I'm showing you this presentation because I want to express the sincerity that I have for us becoming educated and for political education reform in our systems, in our schools, so that we can be better for tomorrow. I thank you all for watching this presentation, and I ask that you keep in mind the low voter turnout, that you keep in mind how we are not taught about certain things. Keep in mind the 55% of top schools who would have scored a D or F, because these factors affect you, and these factors will guide your decisions in tomorrow towards whether or not you have a say. Thank you.